Diva here. I'm Diva. I'm a Libra, hence Deep the Libra. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome. Hi, thank you for being here if you haven't. So let's get into why I am up at 3:52 in the morning. Sorry, that was awkward. I'm losing my mind. But let's get into it. I am traveling to California for work, which is really exciting because I've never been to California before. I was doing some laundry last night because I just didn't want to leave a bunch of like dirty laundry here before I left. I ended up taking a nap, which was supposed to be just going to sleep, but like I didn't finish packing, so I had to wake up from that nap slash sleep, finish packing, got kind of late, and I was like, if I go back to sleep now, I am really worried I'm going to miss my flight. So I'm staying awake until my flight is at 6:30, so I have to be at the airport by, of course, like at least 5 to be for real, 4:45. And so as I've already like brushed my teeth, like washed my face, still very tired, but we move. I'm excited to bring you guys. I feel like that's what's keeping me awake. It's what's keeping me energized. The books I'm going to be bringing on this trip are both like virtually and like physically 4 books on this trip, and I'm just going to be reading like in my free time. More often than not, you guys are going to see me like in my hotel room. This is very much like a work trip, even though like I'm going there for the first time. It's not like play, it's like work. So you guys are going to largely see me like in my free time when I'm in my hotel room reading. The 4 books I'm going to be bringing are Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl, The Breakup Tour, Bride, and Mickey Chambers. It's not like a challenge or anything to see like how many books I can read. It's just very much like, okay, I'm going to be bringing these books. Let's see like what I read when I have like the incentive to, or just like I feel the urge to. I'm definitely going to sleep on the first leg of the plane. I have a layover and then I'm going to be in California, but I'm going to definitely need to sleep at some point. If I don't read on the plane, forgive me, but you guys will see me once I get to my hotel. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but I'm so excited. Okay guys, so after a couple of snafus, got them worked out. Oh my god, I'm just happy to be in a room. Getting all of that squared away, I am in my room and I'm in California, which is just so surreal. I feel like when I was in the airport and my phone also died, which is like when I fell asleep during my nap yesterday slash today, I realized I didn't put it on the charger, so it only filled up like half the tank, which was annoying. And then on the plane, the outlets like didn't work, and so I was like, so going well. I'm here, I'm happy, and it was just so surreal when I was in the airport, like I was saying, to see everybody else just like walking around, like the palm trees. It's like a little bit chilly here, but like definitely not considerable to I feel like how other states have been facing like storms and like snow. Like for my layover, when I saw snow, I was like, because I haven't seen snow in a while, so I was like, I grew up a snow girl, but I was like, oh my god. And so it's kind of interesting, a little weird to be somewhere that's like on the warmer side right now. It's like a little bit chilly, but like with my hoodie, I'm just like fine. You guys may also wonder why I have like that big ass coat that I've been carrying around. Like, if you're going to California, like what are you doing? There's like another leg of this work trip to Oregon. I just don't know if I'll be taking you guys there because I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll really play it by ear. But I checked in. What I really need right now is lunch, and I also love this lighting, guys. I feel like, I will say, as much as I like love this ponytail, did I look crazy like bumping into like the upper part of like the plane, and then like when I got into the Uber, I really have to make sure to like, my mom did her thing with like a bunch of pins and like lip scrunchies, so I really do not think that would happen. But if I ever fell off public, I think I would have to, you guys would never see me again. But let's get some lunch, and then I'm gonna head over to my job because I'm a working girly. And as you guys can see, don't be disappointed in me. Don't be disappointed in me. But I did not read on the plane, but especially on the second leg, which was like the longest. On the first, like I told you guys, I slept best nap of my life. When I woke up, I said, oh, it was so cozy. I was in the window seat. I love the window seat. Nobody was in like between me and the person who was sitting in the aisle, so I said, oh. But then on the second leg, I was able to get a window seat because the first I had been assigned a middle seat, which I was like, oh God. Oh my God. I was like, oh my. I just love the window. I mean, after that whole Alaska Airlines thing, it's really made me question, but I still like the window the best, especially somebody who gets like easily claustrophobic and like nauseous. Just looking out the window makes me feel better. But it was like a lot tighter because like the whole plane was really like packed, to be honest. So really moving around, shifting wasn't a big thing. And so the idea of like trying to pull my books out of like my overhead bin just really didn't feel conducive at the moment. So I tried to read on my phone the art I have of Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and my phone died. And then the outlets weren't working. So it was like, you guys have to believe me. Believe me, I tried and I wanted to. I was like, I also napped on the second leg of the plane, but when I woke up at like, I can't even remember what time it was, but I woke up, there was still like an hour-ish left in the flight, and I was like, oh my God, let me read and be like nice and productive and fun and flirty. And my phone died, and I said, And so I want to keep you guys here while I get something to eat first, because this is basically like my lunch break, and then head over to the Big Bill job. I'm so excited for you guys to join me. Got some lunch, which was delicious. I wolfed it down, and then on my jeans, my sneakers that I consider a bit more like more professional, I switched them out, and my laptop, all of my like work office goodies in here. So I will see you guys later. Also, the bathroom is really nice. I love hotel bathrooms. It makes me feel like I'm doing like the Vogue, like beauty secrets. Like, see you guys later. Hi guys, what's up? Did you miss me? I missed you. Stop being weird. I just came back from work, so day over in that sense. It was just nice to see everybody like in person who I usually see in like a little box screen most of the time, because I feel like I work remotely. And so the smart thing to do now would be to hop in the shower, and so later I don't have to do it, but I'm gonna be way too tired to do it. Like, I don't think you guys understand how desperately I want a nap. But if I take a nap, I so fear I'm going to be like, in the next clip we'll see what I choose. Hey guys. Okay, hey, don't be disappointed in me. I did take a nap, because if you guys have been here for a moment by now, you know one thing I'm going to do is sleep. But I also took a shower, did like skincare, brushed my teeth and everything. So I'm in bed. I'm going to read for a bit. Confessions of an Allergic Girl, probably like the first chapter, and then just to get myself like introduced to the story, and then like pick it up tomorrow. Also, since I have like a couple different options to choose from, like book-wise, depending on like what I just want to read, what's at my disposal, because this is a physical book. So since again working tomorrow, it could be easier just to like hop on my phone and like read Brad, or like a virtual copy of a book that I have. But we'll see. I'm gonna read a chapter of this, and then we will call it night. Aren't you guys proud of me? I lied. Read 3 chapters instead of 1. They're actually pretty short. I feel like maybe I'm used to reading books recently where the chapters are really long, so I only thought I was gonna get through 1 before going to bed, but I got through 3. I feel like I'm immersed in the environment pretty well. Monique is a preacher, just to make sure, because people have called her like Mo. I didn't want to butcher her name. She's a pastor's daughter, very rigid rules, rigid upbringing, and her boyfriend are trying to have sex, but she has vaginismus. I feel like I'm so like, as somebody who grew up in the church, it was a big part of their life growing up. Yeah, a lot of what I'm reading right now is very much just like, And it really makes me think a lot about how I feel like there have been discussions about what it's like to be like the pastor's daughter's son, and it's making me like really think about that. So I'm gonna close the book there. I'm interested though. It took me. I haven't read YA in a while, and so also just like tone of the book I'm feeling used to again, like it being more on the younger side, which is just interesting to read again, because I'm like, oh my god, doesn't make it any less like enjoyable or interesting, but I'm like, oh my god, am I getting older? Might be, but let's go to sleep, guys. Good morning, guys. It is time for me to go to work, and so I'm doing my, as you can see, putting on some moisturizer. I'm gonna put on some sunscreen, because this year we're protecting our skin, and then I'm going to run down and get some breakfast, and then we're going to work. I feel like no matter what I do, sometimes I'm like, am I always gonna look deeply tired? But we move. And then I was laughing at myself in the bathroom mirror. I was like, because of the style, like hairstyle, I'm gonna look like a cone head for my trip when I'm sleeping, but I don't care because it's super comfortable too. I love my big bonnet. Hello guys. I am back in my hotel room after work. You may not be able to tell, you may not be close enough to me, but I'm having a small, tiny bit of an allergic reaction. Yeah, my nose is really red, my eyes are tearing up. In this day and age, I was wearing a mask anyway, which is double why I'm like so annoyed that this is happening, but like coughing, sickness, I was like, I need to send myself back to my hotel room. My team was very understanding, but I left basically just as like work ended, so it wasn't very much like me leaving early, but I still feel very poorly, which I'm also annoyed about is because I read a little bit during work and I feel like I was getting so immersed in the story and I was looking forward to coming back to my hotel room after the team dinner we have today that I'm also missing because I'm not feeling well. I am going to take a Benadryl or two because that's really the only thing that makes me feel better. Like I know I just need to like sleep this off, and so I'm going to do that, just rest. And then I'm also annoyed because it's only like the beginning of the evening, and when I take it this early I wake up at like 1 in the morning, but that's not gonna happen. You know why? Because I'm saying it's not. Did you guys believe that? Because I did it. Hi guys, I'm feeling much better if you were at all worried. These allergic reactions, like, they're not uncommon for me. It's not like I break out in hives or anything when it comes to this, but it could have been dust, it could have been seasonal, it could have been like a food allergy, but I'm just thankful that it's kind of like mellowed down. Especially like sleep is the thing that like helps the most, and medicine. I'm still like sniffling a little bit and my eyes are still like a little bit dry and itchy, but I am okay. I'm about to book in the bathroom because I finished. We cheered. I don't know, every time I finish a book, I'm like, Diva, why are you always... I think my hardest thing is like attempting to start a book sometimes, and then by the time I'm in the middle of it, I just like couldn't stop. I was like, once I woke up and I started feeling better, I ordered some food, like you guys saw, and I was like, Diva, I just started like living through it. I got through it so quickly. So I need to stop acting like it's the hardest thing ever to like pick up a physical copy of a book, Diva. Just read. But Fesh is an allergic good girl. This is like initial thoughts, not very fully formed at all, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversations around sex, like sex positivity, being scared about sex. Like the title says, very much like makes a lot more sense now as I read the book, like an alleged good girl. How Monique, the main characters, so much of her self-worth is wrapped up in what people think of her pleasing her family, pleasing the church, pleasing God, pleasing her boyfriend Dom, that she doesn't really know who she is really outside of being like a good girl. As somebody who grew up themselves, as unlearning a lot of their like people-pleasing ways, and the idea of like so much of like when you're told, and this is what Monique deals with a lot too, is like when people's perceptions of you become like your identity and you don't know who you are without it, the shame and the guilt of like betraying that idea that somebody like had of you is like a very hard one to go through. And so like to see that, I've read it before like tackled, but see it tackled from like a young black girl's perspective, and then also just exploring the topic of like how her ideas about like shame and guilt and like being like shaming her family, her father is the pastor of the church. It's a smallish town, like that somebody will see her and know that she is undergoing like this problem is just such a big point of like being ashamed of your own body. Let me think about where I'm going with this, which is basically to say that I enjoyed it. I thought my biggest critiques right now lie in the pacing of the third act. I thought a lot felt like it was happening at once. Actually, like a lot of the threads came together at the end, which was nice, but also for a minute I was like, whoa, like a lot is happening. I wish we could have slowed down a little bit. The humor didn't always land for me in this book. It was like serious conversations, like very much levied with like happy-go-lucky like moments where like Monique is like finding herself, hanging out with like Reggie, the resident like bad boy. Did we mention the other character on here? The church girl Sasha, as they're kind of like forming their little like found friendship. I thought some moments were funny, some moments just weren't as funny. Humor is very hard to land for me, like in books in general, so I don't really necessarily hold that against it. But I think tentatively, star rating wise, I would give it like a 3.5. I definitely enjoyed it and I would recommend it to like other people, especially like other young black girls. I feel like it had a lot of good conversations, and it would have been, as somebody who also grew up in the church, it would have been nice to hear from a young age that like your self-worth is like not wrapped up in your virginity and it's not something that somebody else is like owed. It's like for yourself. These are very much like my initial thoughts. I especially love whoever does the cover art for her books. Like this one is so cute. I just also love the color scheme of this, like the pink and the blue and the yellow. Yeah, I feel like streamlined, positives, conversations about like sex positivity, conversations about like religion when you grow up in the church, black family dynamics, especially when you grow up in the church. I thought that was just like very refreshing to read in this book. I could understand and relate to it a lot. Critiques mostly the third act, the humor sometimes, and I feel like because of the third act, this is like a lot was happening. I would have liked maybe just like, maybe from Sasha in particular, I would have liked like a bit more like exploration of her character. Maybe it wasn't completely necessary because like Monique at the end of the day is the main character, but I feel like that would have been maybe like a little bit nice. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts. This is not like a fully formed review. Maybe I'll probably do like one in the comments like when I upload the video, but I think like initially I would give this like a 3.5. Like a 3.5. This is definitely a book I would buy for like a young black girl. First book down. Guys, it was literally pouring. I had to run home because I do not have my umbrella, just my handy dandy big coat that you guys might be like, where is she going with this big ass coat? Came in great handy. If it was raining, how much? What's up guys? You know, if there's one thing I'm gonna do when I get back to my hotel room is put on my bonnet. It was really raining outside and it's gonna rain tomorrow too, which is I'm gonna be here all of Sunday, leaving Monday morning and then going to Oregon. I didn't plan to take you guys with me to Oregon at first. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why, but I'm like, why not? We're already here. I feel like we're so close already, and also I've never been to Oregon, so that'll just be, again, also for work, just like fun to experience. And so I need to finish up some editing for this video that we'll be posting, of course, before this one, because by the time this one is posted, that one will already come out. But I've been working on that. I read 4 pages of, because I was gonna head back to my hotel and I was trying to see if the rain was gonna let up. It was not. I read 4 full pages of the first chapter. I accidentally flipped in between the book. I didn't spoil myself, but I didn't realize that the book is told in alternating POVs between the female main character and the male main character. This is just a personal preference, something I realized recently. I do not like, largely in romances, alternating first person POV. Third person, we don't mind. I actually really like alternating POVs when it's third person, but there's something about first person that like, there's a lot of other factors that play into it. It could be like poor writing, like poor characterization. The characters sometimes sound like the same, and the fact that they're both using I never helps. Or just like, I kind of like, it's not like a mystery. Sometimes you can obviously tell that like one person is in love with another person, one person likes another person, but sometimes with the first person POV, you just get like a bit too much insight that I feel like doesn't leave enough mystery to the audience. That's not just it though. I feel like this is very much just like a stylistic thing I realized recently where I was like, oh, I don't really like this as much. I'm not gonna discount the book just off of that, but that's something I noticed and I was like, oh. But I also feel silly again for not realizing very much that this is like, was inspired and like based on like Taylor Swift's life. I feel, especially because when I was reading it, my coworker was literally like, oh, is that about Taylor Swift? The woman on the cover looks like her. And I said, I'm so silly. But let me go edit. Good night, guys. I'm back in my hotel room. It's not too late, but it's kind of late. It's like 7 o'clock. When I was outside, that was like me taking a break from work. I didn't leave yet, and so I stayed a little bit longer, and I am very tired, and so I'm not going to be reading. I'm just going to go to sleep because my flight is tomorrow. My time in California is already over. I know I didn't go a lot of places. Like I said, this was definitely like a work trip, and so after I came back, I was like tired, and so I stayed in and like ordered food. But I just think the experience of like being in like a new state is just nice. It always reminds me like how much I love to travel. Like I said before, it was just surreal to be in like LAX, just like watching everybody walk around. But I'm gonna head to sleep. I've already packed my suitcase, brushed my teeth, and so I'm heading to bed. I will see you guys in Portland, and I've already downloaded the widget, the arc for Bride Valley Hazelwood on my phone, and so I'm probably going to read that on the plane. As you know, one thing I'm going to do is take a nap. I'm probably going to sleep on the first leg, and then after the layover, read then. So, good night guys, and thank you for joining me. Packed. I'm just looking around the room because I have I was going to say irrational, but a very rational fear of leaving something at hotel rooms and then like never getting them back, and then it being something like extremely important to me. Knock on wood. But it's time to go. I need to catch my Uber to the airport. came from the airport. I got some burgers and fries and a Sprite there, and the Sprite just spilled all over my hand as I opened it. So cleaned up, and I'm really hoping I wet what I used to clean it up, so I'm really hoping it doesn't leave a sticky residue. But I came into the bathroom to get what I was getting to clean it up. This bathroom is really cute. Not to discredit the other bathroom I was in before at all, the other hotel. This one is just very like, I mean, I'll show you guys. Hey guys, hey. Well, I think what really just was like, ooh, this is like the time. That's what time it is. It's like 2 in the afternoon, which is crazy to think because I've been flying up since like 5-ish this morning. This is like where the towels are. They gave a bath mat, which I think is incredibly smart considering whenever I go to hotels, I always put like a towel on the floor that I didn't like pick up at the end of my stay. I mean, I guess I understand there's probably reasons why they don't offer them in most hotels, but I just think that's so smart. Paper towels, that's what I use to just clean it up, so I'm just keeping it there for a second. There's a hair dryer that I won't need, this little mirror. And then this is the bathroom. And one thing about me, I love a sliding door standing shower. Just looks very... I saw somebody once say that like these little shower heads are just like not in tune to be designed by like Black people because it's falling all over your head. I also think that. I think they're nice, very relaxing. I was just really looking for an umbrella at my layover in Utah, which is why you guys like didn't see much from me like honestly like during this whole like flight process this time, because I went up and down and up and down and up and down at the gates and nobody had one, which just like flabbergasted me for some reason, because I feel like that's even at the stores that were like we have stuff that's like essential, like necessary, like all you need goods, like they didn't have an umbrella. And I finally found one at this one store, and it was the last one there, which I was super thankful for. And then I was super out of breath and I didn't get to buy anything there to eat, and so I got some juice. And then before I left the Portland airport, I just knew I needed to get something to eat, and so I got something to eat. I think today is like more of like a relaxed day. I have to do like a couple things outside. This is more of like a team bonding event that I'm at right now. Before it was like work, what like I'm used to, but this is more like a team like conference. But I think I'm gonna be able to read today, which is fun because I've been looking forward to like Friday Ella Hazel, which has just been like sitting in my phone, and I'm like, I'm going to get to you. I am. I'll see you guys in like, I'm not gonna give you a time, but the next time I see you guys, oh my god, guys, as I was looking to use the toilet because I was like, I have to use the bathroom, I've been flying for like hours. I'm like, oh my god, did I have a room without a bathroom? Which made absolutely no sense. Also, look at this cute little wooden stool, which is nice. And it's behind this sliding door. Oh, not sliding, it's pulled, I didn't even realize. Here's the toilet. That's nice. That just really threw me for a loop for a second. I said, did I get a room without a bath, without a toilet? What's up guys? I just finished being at the event that I was at. Well, not just finished. I came back and I just sat in the little chair for a while. But then I showered, brushed my teeth, all that good stuff, and I'm in my bed and I'm ready to, I'm going to read the first chapter just to like pique my interest enough. And then and I'm being super vague, but I'm gonna read the first chapter of Bride and then call it a night and then finish up the rest of it in the next couple of days. Or who knows how interested I'll be, maybe I'll finish it tomorrow. People don't get too ambitious. Let's get to read it. My phone is like so like when I was like a coworker was looking at it and was like, oh my god, yeah, it's not that bad, but the case is like kind of dinged up at this point, which makes it look worse. But let's get to reading. Okay guys. Hi guys, I am back after work, and the team party that was had after work, it was like themed. I wore what I wore to work. I was very prepared, but it was nice. But I'm back in bed and I'm ready to pick up where I left off because I only read the prologue, which was like the first chapter, and I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Okay, I'm not halfway yet. I'm a couple chapters in though. I feel like I've gotten like a pretty good lay of the land. It took me a minute to like, I mean, I'm getting information as the book is going on, which I'm enjoying how the world building is being dispersed. There's nothing more, not nothing more, but like when it comes to like fantasy or like magical realism where like a bunch of like information is like really dumped on you at one point where it's very like heavy-handed. But I like how the information is being like teased out to us in this book so far and how the world building is kind of being established. I'm having fun. You guys can't see, I was smiling while I was reading, and it's not like necessary for me to like a main character to enjoy a story. Like I enjoy stories where they're like unlikable main characters. I enjoy being in Misery, the main character's head, so that's fun so far. I'm just like vibing, to say the least. I'm just interested really to see like where things go. And if there's one thing about me, I love a marriage. I'm a marriage of convenience girly, like to my core. And I was worried because I have recently, there's a lot of tropes recently that I feel like I've fallen out of love with. Most recently, fake dating. My friend and I were talking about this, that like we've read so many of them executed lately that it feels so very like, the whole concept of fake dating to begin with is very like, okay, you have to ground yourself in the reality that like this more often than not would never really be happening. It's not even that, but it's more so like the reasoning for it. At least to say, I have not liked the way that they've been executed recently in a lot of the books that I've read. And so I was a little worried because Marriage of Convenience to me feels like kind of just like, if I'm listening, I have my retainer in, just kind of feels like a branch of that. Just usually maybe like a little bit more serious because it's marriage, it's not fake dating. And so I was like, please, I haven't read Marriage of Convenience in a while, so I was like, please don't let the next book I read of Marriage of Convenience like not be a banger. And I end up like straying away from it because, you know, tropes, the way that they're executed says more about the book, the storytelling, than the trope itself really. But this is basically to say, I'm just like, I'm having fun while reading. I have to go to bed now because I have work tomorrow, but like this book is making me want to stay up and keep reading, which is a good sign. But I don't want to, like, this isn't even wood, but like, let me knock on wood. So I'm not trying to hype it up too much, but like, I'm just having fun so far. So let's go to bed. Standing back, but work outfit of the day. I'm gonna put my glasses on. Also realized I have forgotten to wear my earrings this entire trip, so I'm not gonna change pace now. We'll see you guys later. Hi guys, I'm back. I just came back to my hotel room. You guys saw me like running out the door this morning, so I didn't get to chat a lot, but I just wanted to do my review of Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Well, not review, not necessarily like my fully formed like thought review. I just want to give my initial first thoughts as I finished it recently, as I did for like Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl. First, to start off with it, like I was saying before, it was a book that made me want to keep reading through the night to finish it, which is my first inclination that like, oh, this book at least like has me hooked from the beginning and I want to see where this goes. It's raining outside, which is my eyes are drying out there. I'm by the window. First, starting off when I left off with you guys, when early in the story I was still kind of getting my footing with like the world building, the way that things were set up, and I'm happy to say I really enjoyed the way in which like pieces of information were like left for us. Little breadcrumbs. Misery as the main character, this marriage of convenience with her werewolf like husband, she's learning a lot of information as well, so it doesn't necessarily feel like this like huge messy like info dump. I feel like kind of the worst things when you're like setting yourself in like a new environment, a universe that like is maybe similar to ours but like exists outside of like what ours is exactly like. You need to like feed information to the audience in a way that's just not like, this happened, and this happened, like make it like a little bit natural, and that happens very well through like dialogue, things like Misery finds out like on her own. I also liked that the book was told in single POV. It's from Misery's point of view, who I haven't said yet, but if you read the blurb, it's the main character. It's told in single POV from like her thoughts, first person, but you soon come to learn there's a very small snippet at the beginning of every chapter that's from Flo, the male main character's point of view, which I thought was nice because I enjoy reading romances that are single POV. But I enjoy romances that are told. I'm gonna move this a little bit. So I enjoyed the way that this was written because I feel like it really did give life to like knowing what Misery thinks about him, but also like we soon become in tune to like, okay, Lo, we don't. Okay guys, I had to move places. The more I talked and the more I was like, okay, I can not even really hear myself against like the thumping of the rain against the window all of a sudden, so let me move. It's still happening, but I hope it's like a little less noisy right here. So what was I saying? Point of view. Like I was saying before, the book is told from single POV, Misery's point of view, first person. I personally do not like romances in particular that are told in between the two main characters, like first point of view, like alternating chapters. I think this is just a personal preference of mine. Please let me know if you also feel this way. But I enjoyed that like we got like little snippets, very small. Like I was saying yesterday, it's not necessary for me to like be immersed in a book, enjoy a book, like if the main character is like likable, but I definitely did find Misery like a likable main character. I enjoyed being in her head. I feel like sometimes when a main character is like thrown into an environment like the one Misery is, like, you know, from the blurb, they can make very we all don't react well when we're like under stress in a new environment, but like they sometimes make decisions where I'm like, that just wasn't very smart or that doesn't make a lot of sense. But I feel like Misery was just a very, again, I guess also, as I said before, the only book I've read before by Ali Hazelwood is The Love Hypothesis, which I think Misery is just like very contrasted with like Olive's character. I remember I read the book like 2-ish years ago at this point. I enjoyed reading from her point of view, but she was just like a very different main character, and it was nice to see Ali Hazelwood write somebody different who was very like, she kind of like didn't take shit for the most part, to be honest. Also, I liked the way that what I wasn't kind of expecting, which I maybe should have been, is like the way the mysteries and like conflicts unraveled like in the book, like as we learn more information. I do feel like it was paced very well. I don't feel like there was too much of like, well, there's so much happening in the beginning, there's so much happening in the middle, there's so much happening in the end, which I feel like very recently with just like a lot of books that large different genres, when it comes to the third act, I've been like very like, whoa, things are happening like very fast, like let's pace ourselves. But I didn't feel that way. I did feel a little bit what prompts the third act conflict felt a little bit like, I feel up until that point communication had been going so well that what happened felt a little bit, just a little bit contrived to me. I do wish it could have been like handled a little bit differently, but the way the rest of like the scenes played out from that point, I didn't really have any problem with. I also feel like I can talk about this without talking about Misery and Lo's chemistry, relationship, their passion. It was not lacking at all in this book. Again, I've only read one book by Ali Hazelwood, so I feel like I have not really seen like, I guess like the steady growth if I had read like all of her books in between. I feel like she knows how to write a sex scene. One of the worst things is when a romance book can feel very like chemistry is lacking, when like maybe the main characters are like together, they're having sex, but it kind of feels like this is just like, you don't feel like any emotion, you don't feel like any connection as to the characters like being together. Not even just like the sex moments, but like also sex moments, but also very much like when they're looking into each other's eyes, like we have to feel that palpable, like also like we need them to like be together, and like we want the forces like driving them apart to like go away. But when it comes to Misery's name, it's very well explained like why Misery's name is Misery in the book, and I feel like I got so used to reading her name in the book that like I didn't realize until I'm saying it out loud in this video. I didn't realize that like Misery does really sound like one of those words that people say that like, oh, what would you name your child like if it didn't have like a bad connotation, and like Misery actually does sound like one of those words. Nothing just felt too rushed in this book, which I thought was nice considering like the amount of information we are fed. Like this is definitely like a new world that like Ali Hazelwood is exposing us to, not in the sense of Omegaverse. I think the push of this as Omegaverse has been like interesting, not because I wouldn't like, my knowledge lies in the many Teen Wolf fanfics that I read. I definitely feel like I would have paranormal like werewolf shifter, much longer title, not as marketable, not as like eye-catching. I understand like completely why, but I do think that was an interesting choice as I read more into the book. But like I was saying, Ali Hazelwood has set up this really interesting world for us where I hope we get to read more from, because I thought that she was just gonna kind of pull from all of the information that I feel like a lot of people at large know about like omegas, betas, like alphas, or like vampires, and she did, but she also just gave it her like own new spin where I was like, oh, okay, this is the world of which Misery and Lo like belong to, and which was just like something I wasn't kind of expecting. I was fully expecting to like kind of ride off of like my knowledge of what I knew, which I kind of did to a degree, but she's introduced like new information that I was like, okay, this does give it like a new twist on like the subgenre itself, which is basically all to say. I would personally recommend the book. I feel like I should have started this off with that. I don't know why I didn't. There's something that's stopping me from giving it like a 5, but I would definitely rate it a 4 or a little bit higher, maybe like a 4.25. I feel like that's where like my tentative rating is right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if that went a little higher. These are like my initial thoughts as I'm working through them. I really do hope that with the way this book ended, that there may be like, we may get more stories in this universe. I'm interested to see what other people think when this book comes out. But that is the end of my, and I'll probably do like both for Confessions of an Illogical Girl and Bride. Those are pretty much my thoughts, but like maybe I'll do like longer reviews like in the comments, especially for Bride when the book comes out, a bit more detailed because I want to chat. So thankful for that I received an article of this book from Berkeley Publishing, Berkeley Romance, because I had my eye on it for like a long time. As somebody who hadn't read a book since like The Love Hypothesis of Ali Hazelwood's, I was like interested to see like what her work just like kind of sounds like now. I do feel like where Misery is, where Lo is state-wise, we could have gotten like a little bit more clarification to that, mostly because like as we just like go forth, if there are more books, I think it would be I just think it would be useful to know like where are they positioned yeah, guys, those are my thoughts. Thank you guys for joining me on what felt like, for me, this very kind of long trip. I've been out and about for like a week. For you guys will probably feel like maybe like half an hour. Who knows what I'll edit this video down to. But thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining me to traveling to these new cities. Thank you for joining me as like a 9-to-5 girly who is also trying to make content and loves to read. This video I feel like says like a lot about my channel. But I'm heading home tomorrow and so like this is it. And I hope that you guys join me next time.